All right, stream lucky number 7. Let's make sure that everything is working correctly with the stream. Hope everyone's having a good day today. Let's make sure that everything is... All right, seems like the sound is working right with the stream. Hope everyone's having a good day today. Let's make sure that everything is... All right, seems like the sound is working right with the stream. All right, that sounds a lot better than yesterday. Cool. We're making technological advances, people. This is a channel for growth, and I am no exception to late growth here. Hey, it actually sounds like real music today. It doesn't sound like I'm drowning with my guitar somewhere underwater. Let's hope that works. Hey, it actually sounds like real music today. It doesn't sound like I'm drowning with my guitar somewhere underwater. Cool. All right. Excellent. I think we are stepping into the elite world of hi-fi. Every day is a learning adventure here on this channel. Not just for you, but for me as well. But today, actually, I think the audio is starting to sound good. Hello, welcome back to the stream. These have been a bit of a hit or miss affair at various times. Like I tried doing a live play session yesterday, which is great reps for me. Got some real good shred practice in. Actually got nice and sore after about an hour straight of playing, and then I'm listening back to the audio on this, and it just completely drops off to complete and total trash the second that I decide to start playing my guitar along with a backing track. And well, that's not great, as this is a music channel. The lessons part sound good. Videos on the lessons sound good. Sounds fine if I'm doing it with my acoustic guitar, but man, I don't want to necessarily be hamstrung to always have to do every single lesson on here with my acoustic guitar. And straight up, there are some times where I'm like, it'd be cool to just fire up a stream and get some shred practice in here. But there's really no point in doing something like that unless I can make the audio sound passable. So, stream number 7. Today, our big focus here on this stream is, does Chris's audio sound good? If you want to comment on that, go ahead and subscribe to the stream. Subscribing allows you to comment. That's my way of throttling membership here. I want subs, baby. I want subs. Sub up. Like the stream if you like this stream, if you want more content like this. And be sure to go ahead and check out the videos that I've been posting that are more like 10-minute-ish lessons. Because I think this is meant for like Q&As, kind of just to show off stuff. Also, really just to give me a reason, an auspice to sit and practice at a little bit more of a high level where I'm like somewhat cognizant of the fact that people are watching this, and then that makes you just like actually play at a slightly higher level. And then obviously, one of the big things that we do here on stream is we expand out on some of the concepts that we've been talking about during the week of lessons here. Let me check my docket here before I just start kind of like going off into the practice zone here. But I don't know that I have anything new in this week's kind of like palette of lessons here. We covered some good stuff here earlier this week. Obviously, Aquatic Ruin's a real fun one for you to practice kind of more Spanish-y type of rhythms like that. Yesterday, we talked a little bit about using pentatonics and then expanding out the pentatonic box that we all know, love, and familiar with to do things around dominant seventh chords, which I think will be a lot more useful, or is a lot more useful when we're talking about playing through blues forms here. Just to kind of recap that real quickly. If we think about, I'm going to just use A7 here as my setup. Right, if I'm in A7, let's just drench it with as much echo as I possibly can. All right, so if I use A7 here, I mean, that echo might have sounded really dope when I start doing the example, but we can kind of think about where I'm laying that bar as an equatorial point. On the north side of this, we have the minor stuff. If you bend that minor third into the major third, or even somewhere in between, this is what's known as a blue note bend. That's honestly really all you need to do to make that A7 sound right in the minor box. Now, if I come back here, use that equatorial point, bring it back down south here, go south the equator. Now, I'm in what you might think of as F sharp minor pentatonic, but this is also A major pentatonic. So that's a great way to bring in the major tonality. But like, let's say again, we're doing a dominant seventh, and I don't want to be like totally major about it. That's where we're going to pepper in this little dominant seventh hexatonic type of box or scale type of box here. So we're going to have a blue pattern. Basically, we're still thinking about this in a pentatonic scale. And we're just going to add some notes in. Almost kind of sounds like Phrygian-ish. Ooh, that Gibson tuning. All right, let's get our old friend the tuner up. And Gibson tuning stability is not good. There is no denying about that. Last night I talked at length about this guitar and my disastrous experience of using Gibson for country. Now you might say this is a fine quality blues jazz instrument. I can go there with you. However, what I cannot do, or where I cannot go with you, is the idea that this is a good country instrument, or if you're doing any amount of bends at all, because this thing's a friggin' nightmare. It's like anytime I bend that G string, or even if I just play into it too much, thing sounds awesome. I love doing power chords. Just nice bite, right? Like that good Gibson growl. But anytime I lean too much into that G string, I come to regret it real quick here. All right. Well, let's do a little bit of a sound test here. Pedal board. I've actually, adjacent to me over there, I have, I feel like every guitar sort of like dream place. I have the pedal drawer where I have just like a giant assemblage of pedals. It takes up an entire shelving thing. Fiance made me set that up. She said there was too many pedals in there to strewn about. So now they're all assembled and it's like a library. It's fun. But I've got on the board today, let's run over the line here. Doing a, oh God, what is the name of this brand? It's the Microdose Phaser. Is it All Pedals? I think it's All Pedals. All Pedals Microdose Phaser. I love this phaser. Can't rep it enough. Super great. It does 2, 4, and 8 stage phasing, and those all have really different personalities about them. So it really kind of does everything from like a phase thing to almost a univibe sort of quality. And I've got a univibe. So I've comped them, and it's good enough for government work as far as I'm concerned. It's nice to be able to kind of go from phase to univibe all on one pedal, right? I run that into my compressor. The reason I do that is that kind of through trial and error and experimentation, I have found that doing the phaser going into the compressor tames the up and down undulations of the phaser so that the phaser, when it's dipping and undulating, doesn't totally wash out of your signal so that you don't get that seasick sound to it. So I'm just going to give you a quick demo of what that sounds like. Let's kind of just run through the rig here. All right, that's a fun usage stream. All right, so here's my clean tone. I am running through the top of the line acoustic lead series practice amp piece of crap. Why are you doing that, Chris? Because it's easier to mic up. This is just not that articulate an amp. Alright, cool. Alright, so that's close enough. And that is like my clean tone. I'm using the TC Electronics hypergravity compressor. Why? I'm using the TC Electronics hypergravity compressor. I should make sure to turn this around. Why? It's not amazing, but also I don't need compressors to be like a multi-knob affair. If anything, whenever I see that, I'm like, what am I doing with all these knobs? I just want it there to be a bit of a signal boost, and then especially from like my strats and stuff, just to give it a little bit of extra hair as we move into the next stage of the game. But again, mostly the whole point of the compressor is really to tame the phaser. Like I could just as easily do a build out where I just throw a clean boost pedal there. If like I wasn't using the phaser or whatever, it was not a phaser gig. Maybe it's just like overdrives, have a variety of overdrives on deck sort of thing. Then I would probably just start off with the Seymour Duncan pickup booster or like the Dan Electro breakdown if I wanted to get woolly. Right at the shoot, and then just kind of build my tone from there. I'm a gain stacking guy. So here is the clean tone. With the phase. See, it gets like, in my estimations, it gets a really pleasant, it goes up and down in a pleasant way, but at the same time does not get so gross with it. See, it gets like, in my estimate, it's the clean tone. All right. So that's not bad. And that also is just giving me a good chance to check the sound here on everything with stream too. Everything sounds like it's flowing well. All right. So the next thing that I'm using on the board today here that I've been vibing on a lot is the Behringer. Old Fire, they make some okay units. I know that they're thieves, but I have the Behringer Ultra Shifter Harmonist that I bought from like a music go-round somewhere down the line, and I like it. Again, I guess keeping with my, I'm not against knockoff units. I have the Donner Black Arts, which is just the NUX Time Force. My gain stage, I'm gonna keep secret for right now. I am going to keep my main overdrive pedal in particular secret because there's not that many of them. And I actually don't need all y'all running out and buying the last remaining units of them. Because I can still find them. They're a little pricey, but they're not inordinately pricey. And the last thing I want to do is create a run-up on what is that pedal. If you want to guess at it, leave a comment down below. And I will even tell you, you get one guess apiece. Everyone gets one guess because you're not going to just be able to shotgun every distortion pedal ever. But I will tell you whether your first guess is right or wrong. If anyone guesses the pedal, they can go and buy it. I'm going to give you a free pedal. No, nothing like that. We got no budget. On this stream. Coffee time. All right, you little goobers, let's get some practice in. The other day, before I get into just like shredding away, right? Like I kind of want to just demo a few exercises that I think would be really helpful here. Someone in the comments asked me about practicing rhythm, and I actually was teaching one of my beginner students yesterday. He likes metal and all that stuff, so it's going to be a vibe. We're going to have fun this year. But I am always reminded, especially as we were sitting there and talking about like Metallica and that sort of thing. Like when I first was learning guitar, you would get these Metallica tabs, and it would just be like an endless string of zeros, and you don't really have a sense of where any of that stuff lands. And so many younger musicians don't have any groove about them because their teachers have never taught them how to groove. That's my job. That's like if we're teachers, that's like literally all of our jobs. We need to teach them how to groove. My teacher needed to teach me how to groove. Could have done a better job with that. He was more like read stuff, learn theory, that sort of thing. And like not actually sitting down there and grooving and grinding. So I think a great exercise, really kind of regardless of what skill level you're at, is to just review basic fundamentals against that accelerating metronome. If you are a heavy player, like let's say you like a little bit of heaviness, yeah, we're gonna do it with the phaser. Phase out, baby. No, all right. Put a little hair on this. If you're a heavy player, one of the most important things that you can be working on here is, one, your unrelenting downstroke, Hetfield style or Johnny Ramone style. And then two, getting your alternating stroke nice and loose so that you're able to, chug 16th notes in a solid groove or 8th notes in a solid groove. So it may seem academic. Oh my God, let's get the stool in place. We can do it. It may seem a little bit academic, but I actually think starting off with just a little bit of work on your basic rhythms is a great place to start here. Okay. And it doesn't necessarily have to be boring, especially if you're doing it against an accelerating metronome.
Constant roll call. That's why people choose.
Life really can.
It's your move.
So true.
Ask your doctor about starting or switching.
Yeah, mama. I'm just adding some harmonic flavor to that commercial. All right, so we got our metronome going here. heavier or whatever, eighth notes are, you know, kind of the beginning starting block. But if you're trying to pursue metal and that sort of thing, change the exercise up to 16th notes. Start at 40 and start working your way up from there until you'll be starting at 160 strokes effectively per minute and just working your way on up. The goal here, as I stress with my students, is really about getting to that top speed loose. When I was working with this student yesterday, again, super excited to work with him. He's a really cool kid. He had the same thing that like all of us had, the same shit that I had too. I mean, I am left-handed. Actually, for those of you who maybe that's a first reveal, I am playing right-handed guitar. I am left-handed. So all of the right-hand mechanics and everything for me were developed, trained, refined skills rather than kind of the natural stuff where sometimes I'll see a guy, you know, a kid pick up the guitar. He can't really move his left hand that well, but like, man, he got that fast twitch and that chug right there because, you know, it's his right hand. So that's what he's good at. I think anyone can become stronger on their non-dominant hand. It's just going to require kind of discipline and training. So alternating picking, great way to do that because we want to get up into that top speed loose. My student yesterday tried to get in there and tensen up, right? And then when I started doing it through there, I actually watched his stroke loosen up and evolve over the course of the 60-minute like lesson. And whenever I am in one of those sort of exercises like that, especially if I'm closing my eyes, I'm really trying to listen for all of the details and feel all of the details. Where's the pick sitting in my hand? Is anything getting too tense? Obviously, am I in front of the beat? Am I behind the beat? Where am I in relation to the beat? Keeping track of that too. But we want to use like these simple mechanical exercises as an opportunity to really pay attention to all those little things. Because how many players have you seen where you know that guy's been playing 15, 20 years and you're looking at their pick grip and you're going like, huh, it's kind of a strange grip. Right? Like, and it's not that they're a bad player and they're obviously good musicians or whatever, but like then you like listen to it and their attack sounds not as articulate as it could. The metaphor I am very fond of is that the left hand is like our vocabulary. All the words that we know. So just as an example, a $5 word here, protuberance, a growth off the side of the head, right? So it is a word like protuberance. But then our right hand is like our mouth, our tongue. How well can we say a word like protuberance? Because if when I go to say this word, oh man, he's got a large bump on his head, but no, I want to dazzle everybody. I want to show them that I read book one time, right? So I go, oh, he has a large on his head. Well, if it comes out as protubadubba, if it comes out as that, then we are not really demonstrating that we have great skills, right? I mean, in a way, you're betraying yourself because you know more than your mouth is able to execute. So they're equally as important. If anything, you'd be better off having a looser or lesser vocabulary and being more articulate than to be very, very intelligent and knowledgeable about all the words and the concepts and not be able to spit them out. Some real life examples come to mind, but I don't want to go there. I don't want to go there on stream. All right, so let's talk about another exercise here that can be really, really useful. Just a basic Johnny Ramones exercise. So Johnny's sort of rhythm, we're gonna kind of like punch it up into a more kind of 80s style because Johnny didn't do a ton of palm muting. I don't want to say there's never any palm muting on Ramones recordings because I feel like there is, but a lot of times he's just we are just kind of slashing at the chord here, and odds are, for a more modern player, you're probably going to want to get some palm muting in here. So I kind of punch up this exercise a little bit beyond just Johnny's basic figure, where we're going to go chord, and then we are going to mute. Now, you could try practicing just unrelenting eighth stroke, or like unrelenting eighth notes. That's gonna gas you out, especially if you're playing fast recordings. By which I mean, and I don't even discourage you from firing up the accelerating metronome and just practicing how long you can do downstrokes like that. But I'd almost recommend do that as a prelude to doing this exercise here, because the whole point of Johnny's rhythm figure, he used to say to help him change chords, buy him a little bit of buffering time. As he's changing. But I also think it gives his hand a break from the unrelenting machine that is just buzzsaw downstrokes all day into oblivion. So let's talk about what this figure looks like. This figure is going to be an 8-stroke pattern, but it's going to be like 1 rest, and then 2 and 3 and 4 and. So 1 big exclamation point stroke, let's call it. And then kind of our rhythm count here. 1, rest, 2 and 3 and 4 and 2. It gives a bit of a visual flair down here, especially when you're playing faster music. Having it not just look like you're all robots staring at your hands is great. So having a little visual flair is there, and it also gives some articulation, obviously, to the chord. And it also helps emphasize where the 1 is. All of these things are useful. But I think the most generative part of this Johnny technique is giving our hands a meaningful break. He has a lot of great play demos. I actually think very highly of Johnny Ramone's guitar playing. I mean, obviously, it's simple, but dude, I watch him do Surfing Bird, where he is just buzzsawing away at that 1 chord, and he's doing it really, really fast. It's almost exclusively downstrokes. He barely ever cheats, and it's not until he started making the band push the tempo a little bit more that you start seeing him get a little cheatier with his downstrokes. The man clearly kept his physicality up to speed, even if his technicality is not necessarily profound or anything like that. All right. Hey, what up, the Snaggy? How we doing? Yo, thanks for watching, guys. I am very happy to have people here checking out the stream. I think the audio sounds good. Every time I keep dipping back into it, the audio seems to sound good. So let's see how it sounds in the next play example. All right. Here we go. Three and 4. got to commando. Almost got to commando speed. Commando speed. Commando speed is basically like my shorthand for 185 BPM at kind of that Ramones tempo. If you check out the track Commando, I think it's recorded around like 183 or 184. Marky's actually a very good metronome. He's pretty tight, but you know Marky drifts a little bit. He has also got like the best eighth notes on a hat I've ever heard. I like Marky Ramone a lot. Very good drummer. But yeah, 185 is a good one. If you're looking to do Master of Puppets, I think the recording itself's like closer to 200. But dude, that downstroke exercise is such a good workout on your forearm. And it doesn't matter to me how long you've been playing. You can never spend too much time working on that. And if the 3-minute version of that is, I think the 3-minute version of that's probably plenty. But like if you're trying to build up endurance, try doing the 6-minute version of this. Quick plug, because this gentleman should have a lot more views for all these videos. And a decent chunk of these are all my students. So guys, let's sub up on this guy. His name is Dave Brox. Dave Brox, nice guy. Accelerating drums metronome. Has some really nice playthroughs. Actually, I saw a really great simplified version of Every Breath You Take. If that is a song that is tripping you up at all because of all the stretchy Andy Summers chords, one solution, of course, is to go out and buy a Mustang and just switch to a student scale, and all those sus2 chords will be a lot easier, add nines or whatever. But another way of kind of tackling that is through Dave Brock's kind of variation of it with the capo and everything. It's deceptively clever. I actually kind of wish I had come up with this arrangement of it myself. So hat tip to that man for sure. I think he's doing some really good work over there. Let me check the comments, see if anybody's got any questions here. No questions. Nobody wants me to get into anything in specific. Groove. That's cool. That's cool. Let's get a little shred in, shall we? I think the audio is sounding like good now. So then that means that like I can like vibe, right? We could just vibe forever now. For example, I could vibe to rebellious classic rock. All right, cool. And that's exactly what I think I'm gonna do. I think I'm gonna rebel. I'm gonna. Pretty sure there's 2 L's in rebellious, but well, yeah, there. Yeah, no, that doesn't look right as I'm looking at this thumbnail, but we shall find out. Wait, no. I'm trying to get rebellious. All right. I feel like 7 minutes is probably plenty of that. All right. Cool. Let me check the audio on this. Hey, it actually sounds like music today. No, guitar playing not necessarily guaranteed, but it does now sound like music. All right, cool. Outstanding. Well, it's a whole new frontier now. Now I can play music and it doesn't sound like I'm sinking underwater. I don't have to get super paranoid. I can just like vibe. How exciting! What's Frosty Trip like? Let's we're just gonna vibe for a little bit longer here. Get some reps in. By the way, if anyone's got any questions, if you've got any like requests of genres or whatever, feel free to like post those in the comments as well. Like, subscribe for more whatever and ever and all of that. Oh, okay, we're doing Portishead. Okay, all right, I got it, yeah. That's sharp, Chris. God, I know where the notes are. Wow. Oh yeah, because it'd be down here, right? That's so weird. Alright. That's why I missed that. Find a way. Oh my God, really? Oh, my old friend Scam Likely. Love him. Good homie, good pal, good friend. Sound check. Wow, we have really jumped into the digital future today on this stream. I'm very pleased with this. Hopefully, the sound will be more consistent going forward here. For those of you who can't tell, like, all right, I made a YouTube account 4 years ago, and then I posted a handful of, like, random crap on it. And this is really the first time that I've actually like sat down and done YouTubing and streaming, anything like that. It's just never been particularly interesting to me one way or the other. So I'm still getting my handle on like how to get the sound and everything balanced out, all of that stuff. Today we tried out OBS, which I'm pleased enough with the results on. I think it sounds all right.
So I'm still getting
Like I sound good there. That sounds like guitar playing. Like nothing sounds underwater anymore. That's a big benefit. So hopefully that'll make us feel good. Maybe we should end this successful stream with a truly emotional performance of Purple Rain like guitar solo. So for those of you who hate this, I don't apologize. I refuse. I will never say I'm sorry.
Smiths, you can clip.
Apologies are for weak people. It's like, well, why didn't the Spain guy apologize? Because he knows the truth. The truth is only the weak apologize.
Save more with digital
If you're
coupons
living
the
in
app.
your truth, you
Smiths,
have nothing to
fresh for
apologize
everyone.
for.
You know, I've always found it strange. People really want to save money, but are so willing to toss their hard-earned coin into a three.
All right. be proud of that one. 11 minutes of Purple Rain. No, actually, I kind of like forcing myself to like stretch on a song for that long because like there is normally no way in hell I am playing an 11-minute solo, nor do I desire to. But actually doing that kind of just forces you to kind of dip deeper and deeper into the creative banks here. All right. Final check of
There is normally no
string
way
chord.
in hell I am playing.
See, that's the good stuff. That's good sound quality. All right, cool. A little bit of a navel gazing stream here because I just like you get so nervous when you do one of these and then you look back after an hour and all of it is trash once you go to play, which is kind of the whole point of a channel like this. But I think today, Thursday, January 8th, market people, audio has been improved. Like the stream, if you like the stream, no one's liking the stream. So apparently nobody liked the stream at all. That's a gosh darn shame, isn't it? Subscribe if you more content like this. And until the next one, everybody, have a great day and happy practicing.